Mitchell Juergens, the Starman, sideline reporter for BYU Radio's coverage of BYU football, back with us on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline. Mitchell, happy Halloween, man.
Hey, thanks. Happy Halloween to you guys.
Do you have a costume plan, or are you staying out of that game?
I'm currently Hakeem Olajuwon.
Oh,
the fellow Houstonian, at work today.
That's awesome. So you're doing the dream shake around the office or something?
You know it, yeah.
Fantastic costume, yes. And going back to your Texas roots for sure. All right, Mitchell, we've been discussing the frightening trend of BYU football on this Halloween special. They've lost 3 of 4, but we've also pointed out that the Cougars have played well coming off disappointing home losses when they kind of feel like they're against the world. I can't think of a more conducive scenario than going to Boise State after you lose to Northern Illinois with that us against the world feeling. What do you think of the team and the mindset they have right now?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting kind of up and down year, and it's true. When our backs are when BYU's backs are against the wall, they somehow come out and just play out of their minds. And so this challenge it kind of fits that mold of how, BYU can come out and be successful against Boise State. So I think, they're determined. They've got a lot of things, I think, on their mind to fix. They definitely weren't expecting to lose last week against Northern Illinois. They want to erase it just like they wanted to erase the Cal loss after an Arizona win, and then came out and stomped on Wisconsin. So this could be the exact same scenario, and I fully expect that the team will prepare just like they did when they were going into Wisconsin. And so, yeah, I can see guys coming out playing really hard, and it's a fun atmosphere up there in Boise on the Smurf turf, on the blue turf, and so I expect them to come out really physical and play some good football.
Maybe BYU football is two-faced for Halloween collectively, right? We've seen both. And you're right. The cost of the Wisconsin win was the Cal loss. So perhaps a Boise State win, the cost was an NIU loss at home. I personally would take it because then we're like, what? Wisconsin and Boise State? Now we're getting ready for Utah? Let's go.
You've won at Boise State, Arizona, and Wisconsin.
That would be insane, right? So you talked about the mentality of that. I want to ask you about this. Michael Shelton made some comments after practice about how he enjoys road games more than home games because he's not getting the juice from the crowd. What's the dynamic like as a former player of you doing something that gives the crowd something to cheer about versus you feeding off the crowd before something happens?
Yeah, it's a tough situation. As a player, I loved playing at LaVell Edwards Stadium. I also loved playing on the road. Being familiar with your atmosphere. That was one of the coolest experiences, is playing at home under your home crowd, under the lights. It was great. But then going on the road and playing in these, unique venues, going to new states and seeing new things is also, really exciting. Now as far as the comments, I like, what he said is, he's expressing his emotions and you want guys to share how they're feeling. But, I don't know, because I don't know if I can relate too much. Yes, maybe the crowd, we saw it last week. The student section was low. There wasn't as much fan base or as much juice as we've seen in the past from the fans. But aside from that, you come to play a football game, whether you have 30,000 fans or 60,000 fans. You come out strong, and you want to win the game for your team. Yes, you want to play well for your home crowd and for BYU Nation, but you're ultimately there to win a football game, no matter who's watching, to prove it for yourself. But yeah, I do hope that more fans can come. The student section can get back to where the Rock used to be, because I believe I don't think we're there right now yet. But his comments, I know he's just expressing his emotions and how he feels about the fan base. And you hope that maybe fans that hear that can kind of rally around it and back them up and say, hey, we're going to come out and support the team, win or lose. And, we can get that energy back.
Mitchell Juergens with us on BYU Sports Nation, former BYU Cougar receiver and current sideline reporter for BYU Radio's coverage of the football team. Mitchell, maybe it's simple and too naive of me to say this, but wouldn't winning games at home just solve all of this on the Michael Shelton side and on the disgruntled fan side?
Yeah, absolutely. At home, the term home field advantage should be true for every single team, and if you look at Boise State, and it's so hard to win up there. They've got a true home field advantage up there at Boise State, and right now it's just not looking like BYU has it. And so, they've got to turn things around. They've got to find a way to win at home. Fans, everyone watches games. Those loyal fans, they'll go to the games at home. They'll watch games on TV that are away. But when they're at home, people rally around that. And so to find a way to win at home, I think will do wonders for Provo. It will do wonders for the team and to getting that energy back because, that energy stems off of wins, off of victories. And so, I agree. I don't think a team should, BYU especially, shouldn't have a losing record at home, and they've got to find a way to get back on top and win multiple games in a row and knowing that when they come into LaVell Edwards Stadium, they have a true home field advantage.
Let's talk about Boise State, a team that you defeated in 2015, and 2016 was a close game, one in which BYU forced a bunch of turnovers, I think +5 in that one. I feel like the winning formula is for BYU to get back to what it did in September in good road wins at Arizona and Wisconsin, run the rock well, and get a bunch of takeaways. That's what San Diego State did. Scored 19, had sub-300 offense. What do you think are the keys to victory at Boise State?
Yeah, number one, I would definitely agree. They've got to win the run game. They've got to establish it early. We've seen that in every single win that BYU's had this season. They've rushed for over 100 yards. They've pounded the football, and the offensive line has been dominant. Every loss, we've had struggles there. We haven't been able to get the offense rolling. And then, we saw a couple last week. The defense played really well, but in the previous losses, offenses really got momentum against the BYU defense and could kind of walk basically right over them. And they've got to, be stout again and play like they did against Northern Illinois and force turnovers. If they can get the ball back in Zach Wilson's hands with good field position, that's going to just make BYU's offensive job so much easier, and especially up there at Boise State where it's so hard to get things rolling, just based on crowd level, the noise. It gets loud up there, and they've definitely got the home field advantage. So I would definitely say establish the run early and force turnovers on defense. I completely agree.
Let's finish with this, Mitch. Will you do the Will you do the Starman in the end zone in Boise if BYU wins on the blue?
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll go back, right there in the end zone and do it for all of you guys.
Okay.
We need a picture, of course,
yes,
if this happens.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've got my word.
Awesome. Spencer will be there, too. Maybe Spencer takes it.
Yeah, of course. I'd be happy to do that. Enjoy Halloween, man. Don't eat too much candy. We need you in Boise healthy. And give us a dream shake with the Akeem Olajuwon.
And you're Hakeem, not Akeem, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Mitchell Juergens, thanks so much, man.
Hey, thank you.
Joining us on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.